Welcome back to Hot Ones. I'm Sean Evans, and they made me sound like a nerd on Saturday Night Live for some reason.
And I'm Grif.
See ya.
That was our sign-in. That was the sign-in.
I thought it was a sign off. Hi, I'm Parker, and I didn't mess up. And if Grif cuts this in, it's because of malice.
It's not that I'm gonna cut it in. It's that I'm not gonna cut it out.
I would say 6 of one, half dozen of the other, a half dozen of chicken fingers. I'm sure we've already heard from the comments. They're gonna let you have it about fingers versus tenders.
Everyone's gonna agree with me. I mean, a chicken nugget and a chicken finger are two completely
I'm just
different things.
A chicken finger and a nugget are the same thing, but a chicken tender is different.
A chicken tender and a chicken finger are the same thing.
Again, I'm just laughing because this is literally a plot from one of the newer Trailer Park Boys episodes. Wow, I made it just a straight up chump out of this dude. Pendant. Now, again, reinterpreting sprites. Do you think that is a glass ball or is it a flat circle pendant? I've always seen it as a flat circle, like a medallion. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was a ball.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people saw it. But I'm like, no, it's a medallion. You know, like you'd win.
Is it called a medallion?
It's called a pendant, but they're called in Ocarina of Time. The little spirit things you win are medallions. So I don't know.
Yeah, but those are 3-dimensional too.
And they're different things. Anyway, that's all. It's one of those things where we're talking about how you interpret sprites. Let's get our boots.
I think it's because in Wind Waker they are balls. They're just giant.
Yes,
dragon
and
balls.
I was like, in A Link Between Worlds, they kind of make them look like balls again too. And I'm like, no, they're like flat circles.
Is there like some art or something?
A pendant could be anything.
Is there?
Yes, you know what? I think there is artwork of them in the manual, but it's not super clear what they are still. It's open. There's so much room to interpret, which I want to say is why I kind of love this game so much. Like the more fidelity you have, the less inspired I get by your game. Like I want to be able to find that middle area where I'm like, oh, I interpret this as that, and suddenly I'm even more involved as the person playing. Like I get to decide, that guy's face is there, not there. I don't know. It's kind of a weird place where only Super Nintendo games kind of get to live anymore. It's like right before the fidelity got higher. I love all these eagle heads. It's wild. There's no eagles in that temple. There's no birds anywhere around here, but that's the theme.
Yeah, it's just It's ancient things that we don't even understand anymore.
Ancient history that's gone now.
It's like when you go to Egypt.
That's a Batman reference.
What's it must have been like for people when they first saw the Sphinx? They're like, what the frick?
Did you see our arrows tink off each other? That was awesome.
You didn't know you could do that?
That's so funny. I've played this game a million times. I've never tried it. I don't bother fighting them most of the time. I'm like, you're a waste of my time. Like, what's the point? Okay. Not this way, but this way. Just gonna do a little housekeeping. Technically could have done this earlier, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it now.
What are you gonna do?
Got a heart piece over here. I try to get stuff when I can, and whoosh. Love the sound effects too. Whoosh. Everything is so unique sounding.
I really like how
Simpsons,
they did.
Man.
I really like how they did the fairies in Breath of the Wild, where they were like just these big, giant, voluptuous ladies.
that kind of started with like Ocarina of Time, where they're very like campy. They almost look like they're in drag.
Yeah.
And they really pushed it with Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah. It makes them seem
like it's unique.
Yeah, it just makes them seem so much more interesting too. Like they're kind of scary, and I kind of like that better when something that is really powerful is also very intimidating.
Once you fully upgrade some of Link's armor, they literally shove you into an area you should not be shoved into. And when Link comes back, he's like, ah! He's like, what just happened to me? I feel bad for him, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, that's the sacrifice you have to make if you want great power. Here we go. I think there's a heart piece out there in that water. Also, that magic dust, it kills those things. The anti-fairies, they're called.
Oh, yeah.
They're not bubbles like people would think. You know, the flaming skeletons from later games, they are anti-fairies.
They look like a nucleus or something.
Yeah, I think they are kind of a skull surrounded by some kind of fairy fire. But they drain your magic when they hit you, and they're annoying as hell. Alright, let's find out what we do. The old wishing fish. Make sure I get the money. Take some rupees, don't tell anyone! Got it. Let's roll.
Is there anything really worthwhile to pay with your rupees in this game?
Yes, not until you get your flippers, and you will have to pay for your flippers quite a fortune. But there is a fairy fountain that you can swim to that's very near where we just were. Where it increases after a while, but you throw in rupees and you can increase your arrows and bombs. So you'll want a lot of rupees. I think in total it's like something like 2,500 in order to max them out. So yeah, rupees, good. Rupees need. Rupees, good for you. We're going to go get the Book of Medora real quick. In order to get into the Desert Temple. It's like, oh, maybe I'll do some light reading. No! Give me book. I believe this is called the Bible. In the, or at least it was in the original Zelda. And when you go, you'll see, like, when you do the prayer outside the temple. And maybe I just have never noticed it before. I was playing the Japanese version the first time I noticed. But Link does the little sign of the cross over his chest when he says a prayer and takes his hat off. It's adorable. It is the cutest thing. No need to catch that guy. He doesn't give you anything. There are some rocks to break over here, though. I don't think there's anything in them, but give it a shot. Just a bomb. A single bomb. Yeah, there isn't a whole lot to unlock with the boots immediately.
I didn't know you could use the boots to break those.
Yeah, it's a little more apparent in, like, Link's Awakening, where there's a lot more of them. They look a little different, but it's the same kind of thing. They made them like these weird tents that you pop, and I'm like, I think those are supposed to be big crystal rocks, like in A Link to the Past. I don't believe there's anything super... I think it's just rupees. Or a fairy. Something mostly useless. It's fine. Bree, bree. Just the most, like, I said it kind of passingly earlier, but it reminds me of the sound effects on The Simpsons, how they're also just like, you've never heard them anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know a Simpsons sound effect when you hear it. And it's the same with this Zelda. Lately, though, I've heard more and more modern games are just using these sound libraries. And I'm like, no! Make your own weird, unique sounds. Also, I know for sure you've been to a store and they cash you out at the register. And for some reason, the Sonic the Hedgehog ring sound effect plays. Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't think they know that they use that.
Was it from a sound? But here's the other theory, that maybe the ring sound effect from Sonic the Hedgehog is from a sound library, and we've never known that until now. And if so, how tragic. I want to know. If you know, sound off in the comments below. I have to know what's going on.
It could just be a coincidence. Like, they could just be...
Oh, no way. It is... No. And the only coincidence is if they both took the noise from a sound library. But if it's like that they magically made a sound exactly like that, no way.
Like 30 years apart?
That's wild.
Like the same sound library, somebody was just looking through it like today? Like sound libraries by now have probably like so
who knows?
Much more
Maybe it was just maybe they were just like, you know what? That sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog. We shouldn't steal that. But then someone's like, they don't own that, and they took it. That could very much be the case.
I doubt that anyone who worked at the factory that chose that noise had any idea what Sonic the Hedgehog was.
Like how Sahasrarla is just moving around.
Most people don't. Like, I would say, like, probably 80% of the population has no idea what Sonic the Hedgehog is. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, just because the fandom is loud doesn't mean they're right. But I don't know. He had a very successful movie. He had the last successful movie before the pandemic, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but not that many people see movies. You know, it's
and like... Did we already go on record as saying we prefer Jaleel White as Sonic the Hedgehog? Is that going to get us in trouble with Ben Schwartz? He doesn't care. He's a nice man.
Ben Schwartz has only been doing it for the movie.
That's true.
And there's still cartoon shows and games where he is a voice actor. So he doesn't like have like. He's not even the only current Sonic.
I mean, it's been years since Jaleel did it. All right, look. Watch his little hand signal. He does the sign of the cross when he reads his prayer. Isn't that adorable? It's so cute. His earnest little prayer.
Well, that's been another episode of Goldwynn Dinner Club. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Join us next time. We're going to check out this desert temple. Peace.